All right. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Great. So this is the Sean Kokoska. He teaches us. We taught us every Friday for months and months and months. I'll be hiring him again. The cool thing about Sean Kokoska is, he'll charge you an arm and a leg, but the information is invaluable. And then also he just does it. There's no contract. So um, he gave me so much information in like the 6 to 8 months that I coached with him that I had to just like, all right, man, I got to digest this stuff and work on it and apply it to my business and stuff like that. But one of his FSBO scripts were just incredible. So today we're going to be talking about some seller objections, and I'll open it up for questions. But I'm just going to kind of go through his FSBO scripts, which are phenomenal. The thing with FSBOs is it's all really about ego. You have to go in that realizing that that seller has already decided in his mind or her mind that they don't need an agent; they can do it themselves. So you have to realize that. And FSBOs, just like anything else, but especially FSBOs, it's really all about building that rapport up front and just following up with them. There's an NAR statistics that about up to 70% of FSBOs eventually list with an agent and sell. So it's all about the agent that is contacting them, giving that sell owner value and stuff like that. Once that seller's motivation changes, let's say their ego is hit because it's been 3 months and they got to sell, then they're going to start reaching out to agents. So if your follow-ups are on point with FSBOs, you'll end up getting them, but it is a long-term play. You can't expect to just jump on the phone and call FSBOs and start getting the listings. You can get the seller appointments, right? And especially with the use of express offers through EXP, you can definitely get the appointments because if you find out the FSBO is kind of in a distressed situation, or if the FSBO is in a distressed house, and you can say, okay, well, great, man, I'd love to meet with you. I'm not looking to get your listing, but I do want to see if one of these of your property matches one of my buy boxes and my investors that we work with. And so, well, tell me about that. Well, okay, when's a good time to show to you? So you'll go in there and you'll set the appointment. You'll get in front of them and you'll talk about the express offers, how it's way different than the big three buyers. Open Door, Zillow, and there's one more. What is it? The big three: Open Door, Zillow, and
Alphabet.
another one. You may know it, but
Alphabet.
you say it's really not like that because with Zillow and Open Door and all these other big large hedge funds, they have a very narrow and specific buy box that they purchase. So chances are they're going to buy for a lot lower than what we're available to give you. Now I can't guarantee that we're going to get offers for you, but what I can guarantee is if you do get offers, you're going to get a range of offers from different funds that have different buy boxes and pay different prices. So kind of set that meeting and everybody get express offer training and explain that. But what that's going to do is just get you in the door, right? If you show up to the property and it's a nice property, this thing is going to sell. You need to start talking about your services and stuff like that. And these are some of the FSBO scripts that we're going to talk about here. So there's all kinds of scripts, but what I wanted to tell you guys is, I wanted to show you is about a 5-minute. So I was on my coaching strategy session with Sean, and he goes, "Do you mind if I, we run through a role play with us for sub owner?" And I was like, "No, let's do it." Man, he steamrolled me, and I recorded it. It was awesome. So let me get to it really quick, and then I'll share it.
Yeah, everyone signed up for express offers. It took me like a day and a half of online classes to get qualified, but it's so neat because even with MLS listings that aren't listed by an EXP agent, you can still upload those if you think it'd be a potential. Or if you find something off market, you can upload it and it'll say, these are our, 8 buyers or 10 buyers in the area. And this is exactly what their buy box is. And so if you ever did want to start working with investors, you can, you'll know exactly what they're looking for.
Do you have any actually closing with express offer yet, Amanda?
So we just started it, I would say a couple weeks ago. We had one lady, she said, hey, I need to sell my house fast. And we uploaded her information. She got 3 offers and they were all probably $20,000 lower than what she wanted. And if she would have been really distressed, I think she would have taken them, but she said, let's go ahead and put it on MLS. And so we put it on MLS and she got multiple offers. So it did turn into a listing.
Oh, wow. Perfect. Perfect.
That's a lot of things that you'll do with the express offer. It's, I mean, it's obviously a neat tool to use if you know, sorry, if you know that, you know, you're going to get them cash offers and you're really just coming from the mindset of, I just want to show you these cash offers and blah, blah, blah. It'll get your foot in the door, but I want to listen. And hopefully this comes back clear through you guys. If it doesn't, Amanda, just shout out and say, if it's not coming clear, it looks like you are muted. Okay. And like I said, this is Sean's script, and it's phenomenal. It's maybe 5 minutes on a call. All right, 1 second. Can you guys hear this?
What is the single greatest advantage of you selling your home all on your own instead of working with a realtor? And of course, it's to save the commission, right?
Amanda, can you hear that?
Yes.
Coming through pretty clearly? Okay, good. So I'm gonna share this. This is about a 5-minute conversation, and then if you notice what he starts out with, you know, just kind of. And I'm gonna share this. Actually, it's only a 4-minute clip, but let's listen to this together so we can get in the right frame of mind before we start talking about this script.
By the way, what is the single greatest advantage of you selling your home all on your own instead of working with a realtor? And of course, it's to save the commission, right? And then you say, so tell me, what is the single greatest advantage for a buyer to buy a for sale by owner instead of go to a realtor? I mean, isn't it to potentially save the same commission that you hope to save? Let me digress. I want to share with you the 4 different types of buyers. Now, did we go through these scripts, Jeff? We did? Okay. Well, then we can skip it.
No.
Unless you guys want to hear it again.
No, I loved it. I want to hear it again. Okay. No, we didn't.
So
Sorry, the group.
4 different types of buyers.
Yeah, the group didn't do this. We did.
Oh, it's just us. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So it's the first-time home buyer, okay? It's the motivated buyers, the investor, and then finally it's the looky-loo, or what I call the looky-loo, right? Let's talk about first-time home buyers. Let me just express that these people are anxious, they're timid, frankly, they're a little bit stressed out, they don't want to make a mistake. So do you think that they're going to go out all on their own and call upon for sale by owners unrepresented, or do you think they might go to somebody, say, who's done it over 4,000 times in his career? Probably a realtor, right? Let's talk about motivated buyers. We all like these guys, right? Their home just went under contract. They got 2 days to find a replacement, or they could lose out on the contract. Or maybe they're being relocated into our area and their employer flew them in just for the weekend, and then they got to go until they find the right house. Now, let me ask, do you think they're going to go out again, all on their own, doing their own research, one at a time, you know, calling and scheduling these appointments, or do you think they might get with a realtor, somebody who can show them 30 homes a day if they had to, until they find the right one? Probably a real estate agent, right? Let's talk about investors. I've attended seminars where they teach investors how to prey upon for sale by owners. They'll ask them questions like, what if I could close by the end of the month? Will you come down in your price? What if I paid all cash? How low would you go? And then, of course, there's the looky-loo, right? I don't want them. You don't want them. For these people, HGTV just isn't enough for them. They love looking at houses that they have no intention to buy. They'll say things like, well, let me call my lender and I'll call you back. And you never hear from them. Or let me sleep on it. I'll call you tomorrow, right? See, out of these 4 different types of buyers, there's really only one that buy for sale by owners. And yes, investors are great, but they want to buy your home for 10 cents on the dollar. I kind of look at it like this. If you went into a jewelry store and you're in the market for a brand new watch, right? And there it is in the glass case, it's brand new. You can tell it's never been worn. The price tag's still on it. I mean, you'd probably expect to pay around retail value for that watch, right? Okay, let's take that same watch. Let's put it in a garage sale. I mean, it's still never been more, and the price tag's still on it. How much would you expect to fetch for it then? Probably far less than what the jewelry store could get. See, any time we buy directly from an owner, frankly, we would just expect a better price, which is why the National Association of Realtors states that for sale by owners receive 17% less than those that list with an agent. So, by the way, Are you familiar with what I do to get homes sold quickly for top dollar? Luckily, I'm here. And now you've just turned this drop by to a for sale by owner into an actual listing presentation. So positive present, I'm a for sale by owner. I got my plastic sign out front, right? I got my ad on Craigslist and Zillow and FSBO.com. I created my own little brochure. I am a publisher expert, right? I'm going to sell the house on my own. We've got to move them to a negative present. And how we do that is through self-realization, by asking questions to help them self-discover that that's not the best thing to do. Now, negative future was the National Association of Realtors statistics, right? And now once we get them to a negative future, they're open to the discussion around what it might look like to have you list their property. So share some details.
Right. Can you guys, what do you guys think about that? Hui, you're on here. What do you think about that?
I got sidetracked a little bit.
Okay.
Skip to the next person.
That's okay. I know you've heard it before. Sprung, were you listening to that?
Yeah, I was here.
Right. It's pretty neat. So, so what you're doing, instead of telling, hey, it's not the right thing to do to sell your house by yourself, and you're just hitting them with the ego thing, with the ego play, and they're not liking you because they're, like I already said, you got to be real careful about it for sell owner's ego. You kind of got to stroke it a little bit, getting them to self-realize what they're doing is probably going to net them less money, far less money, far more money than what they're trying to actually save in commissions. So you got to get them to do that. So I really love the Rolex story. And that's a really good something. That's a really good story you can tell any for sale owner when you set that appointment. So, you know, setting the appointment to go over some, if the property is distressed or whatever, or just say, hey, can I come by and take a look? I got a few buyers in the neighborhood. You know, they've scoured the MLS and we just can't find anything. Do you mind if I swing by and just take a look at your property and see if it may match a few of my buyers' needs or something like that? A lot of for sale owners, if they're smart, they're gonna say, well, sure, yeah, you know, swing by anytime. And when you get in there, build some rapport with them, and then maybe throw that Rolex story at them. And then once you end up with that Rolex story, you need to say, are you aware of how we were able to sell 100 homes last year, you know, here at Cityside Properties, or how we were able to sell, you know, a couple homes a month every month? Or have you heard about my proven repeatable listing process that we use to actually sell homes just like this? And every one of those sellers is gonna be like, no, not really. And then you just turn that meeting into somewhat of a listing appointment. And again, the goal of that initial meeting is to build rapport with that seller and then follow up. A lot of those sellers aren't going to realize, you know, right then at that initial meeting that they need to use you. But I guarantee when you leave, they're going to be like, man, that guy, I guess he may be right. And what's going to happen is that seller's motivation is going to change the longer that property doesn't sell, right? It's just going to do that. So in addition to that, once you put their property into the matrix, our buying matrix and express offers, you're going to then show up a few days later with a few cash offers, right? Or maybe you just email them the cash offers or email them the details of it and say, hey, you know, this one, I know you wanted 150, but this they actually came in at 120. But if that's the 120 from a cash offer, is probably going to save you anywhere about 8% in fees because, well, you know, you're not paying another agent. My fee is this, whatever you want to pay your fee there. This investor looks like they're paying title policy as well. Your house is vacant. They'll actually want to close in 2 weeks. So, you know, no more mortgage payments. And the neat thing about this is it's as is. There's really no showings that we're gonna have to go through. You're not gonna have to get your property ready for showings. Once the inspection comes along, you're not gonna have to, you know, negotiate repairs. You're definitely not waiting on any appraisals. We're kind of done here at 120. How does that sound? If they say great, then great, right? You lock down that express offer and you go from there. And then hopefully that for sale owner turns into a buyer and you can get them into something else, or turns in even to a tenant and they sign a year lease. And then in a year, you're calling that buyer, you're adding to your database. But if they say no, here's the thing: you've met them once, they've thought about it. Maybe Jeff was right when he said that, you know, if people come directly to an owner, they're just looking to fetch far less than what it's actually worth. And by then, what happens is that seller probably has gotten a bunch of low offers from other investors and things like that. And the longer that happens, the more motivated they're going to get. So if you build rapport with the initial meeting, send them the cash offers and stuff like that, what you've just done compared to any other agent is far more than any other agent's going to do, unless they're on this training and they're taking this stuff serious. So, but building that, but let's say they don't want to take that $120,000 offer. They go, no, you said you can get 150, blah, blah, blah. You build that up. Well, let's use what I always say is I would love to use, my marketing strategies, compounded with the power of MLS to hopefully maybe get you some better offers. If the time frame works for you, we can go ahead and kind of explore that route. And then you'll go into, again, over that call or that email or whatever you want to do, just short, listing process, and then stay in touch with them. Here's what's going to happen. Up to 70% of for sale by owners end up listing with an agent. And if you've done all that, I guarantee they're going to list with you if your follow-up is like it should be. So that's a little bit about for sale by owners. I've only been on for 20 minutes, and that's an extreme amount of value in just those 20 minutes from that 5-minute video. Amanda, could you share a link to that maybe in the chat box?
Is it in Basecamp?
It's in Basecamp, yeah. Because I would listen to that video. I'm sorry, that call, like you just said, and kind of digest that. But use the Rolex story and try to, and that can be and try to digest that and utilize it when you're in front of for sale by owner, because that's powerful. I've never heard that until Sean said that. He said, you think let's say you got your pre-approval, you're ready to go, you want to go buy a $30,000 watch. Where do you see yourself going? Do you see yourself going to like a garage sale to pick up that watch? And maybe you can negotiate, and most likely you're going to get a little better deal, but it's a garage sale. You never know what you're going to get. Or do you see yourself going into a Rolex store and picking it off the shelf and talking to a customer service guy who knows everything about Rolexes? You'll probably go to the Rolex store, right? Well, let's turn that around. Let's talk about you as a seller. Do you think you as a seller owning a Rolex store is going to sell that watch for $30,000, or you as a seller in a yard sale is going to sell that for $30,000? You see, buyers are going to want a discount because they think they're saving money, the same money you think you're saving. They're going to save it by going directly to you. So you're almost losing money that route. So kind of get them in that. And then, that's a good way for them to self-realize, maybe I'm not doing the right thing here. But you're never going to want to put them in a position where you're kind of, challenging their ego, telling them that they can't actually sell this property their own, and I can, and I've done it before. That's not going to go well at all with for sale owners anyway. Let me pull up the script again, and we're going to run through it. Any questions so far while I'm pulling this up about for sale owners, or any seller objections or anything like that?
I love the Rolex analogy, because I just picture, like, if I were to buy something, at Chanel, or if I were to buy something on eBay, even if it's new, you would pay two very different prices.
Yeah, so you need to get them to realize that themselves, not by telling them, but by chatting with them, just like Sean was doing, and getting them to realize, like, probably right, Jeff. And again, they're egotistical, so they're not going to tell you at the first meeting. They're like, you're right, man. Send me the docs, right? It's not going to happen. So let me share my screen. There we go. So everybody hopefully can see this. So I'm just going to read through this stuff here. This is his FSBO script. And I'm going to zoom in because I'm blind, I think. Everybody see that? Great. So let's just read through this, just so we can read through it, and then maybe we'll do a role play with Amanda or Sprung or somebody. So, hey, thanks for taking my call. I'm with Cityside Properties, and I was just curious, when your home sells, where are you moving to, right? That's a script there. And they say, whatever they're going to say, right? You say, frankly, the reason I'm calling is every day I proactively look for buyers, for my sellers. Isn't that what you would want an agent to do? I mean, if you hire an agent, right? Most agents do the 3 Ps of real estate. They place a sign in the yard, they put it in, multiple listing services, and then they pray that someone else sells it for them. Wouldn't you agree? I, on the other hand, do the 4th P, which is proactively prospect for buyers and sellers. So when your home sells, let me ask you again, where do you plan on moving to? Oh, they're moving to Dallas, right? Well, that's exciting. So how quickly do you need to get there? Oh, we need to get there as soon as possible. Well, good for you, man. Now that you've decided to sell your house, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low and 10 being high, how would you rate your motivation? And most people, if they're for sale by owner, like they need to sell, right? So, hey, just curious, how did you determine the price for your home? Oh man, that's awesome. Good for you. So why did you decide to sell it yourself and deciding to, list with a real estate agent? And everyone's going to say the same thing. Well, they're overpaid, trying to save the commission on it, try to save some stuff like that. So if you don't mind, how much time will you take before you even consider to hire the right agent for the job to sell your home, right? Kind of get them into a negative mindset right? So like Sean was doing. And so yeah, how much time will you take before considering hiring the right agent for the job to sell? Okay, great. So are you familiar with what I do to get homes sold? Oh no, really? Okay, well, what would be a good time to show you, right? This is a pretty direct script here. And then the more you talk, what he says is right here, the more you talk with me, the more you'll see why people choose me to help them sell their real estate needs. When is really the best time for us to get together, weekends or weekdays? So that's a pretty aggressive script there, but there's another script here, script 2 and then script 3, and then we'll decide which one will kind of apply to my business. My FSBO script's a little bit different from all this, but Sean sold 5,000 houses. I haven't. So I'm going to go through some of his, but so here's another one here. Hey, thanks for taking my call. This is Jeff with Cityside Properties. And I work with many buyers in the area. I was wondering, how can I help you? And they're going to be like, well, why'd you call me? Well, just out of curiosity, when you sell your home, where are you moving to? The reason I asked is because I have listings in the area, and I was hoping that you may be a buyer for one of the listings. You see, I call daily to find buyers for my sellers. By the way, when do you have time to be there? So it looks like he's calling buyers for his sellers. Okay, so this is a different kind of script. So thanks for taking my call. This is Jeff with EXP. I work with many buyers in the area. I was wondering if I can help you, right? They're going to say, well, I'm just looking to sell, right? Okay, well, when you sell, where are you moving to, right? The reason I asked is because I have listings in the area, and I was hoping you may be a buyer for one of them. You see, I call daily to find buyers for my sellers. So you're almost unintentionally giving them your unique selling proposition to them without really explaining it to them. So, yeah, once they ask the question, once I sell, I'm moving to Dallas. Okay, well, when do you have to be there? And okay, great. And how long will you try to sell your home before you consider listing with an agent? Oh, great. Okay, that's exactly why I should come by your home. At a weak moment, you might end up with a weak agent, and I want you to meet an agent with so many FSBOs, who have met with so many FSBOs and have decided to list with me because I help them get what they want and when they want it. When do you think I can stop by for 15 minutes? I can look at your home, and then I'll tell all my potential buyers about it. Would 3 o'clock be okay, or 5 better? Or what Sean always like to say, does weekends or weekdays work better for you? Right? So has anybody on this session had any luck with for sale owners at any time, or you're all fairly new to this? Amanda, you're muted. So I think people are talking, but they're muted.
So Sprung said, try, but none converted yet.
Converted yet. Right. So I've had some pretty good luck. So when I first started in real estate, I started in Tyler, Texas, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I went to Craigslist, I downloaded 50 for sale owners, and I called all of them, ended up getting 7 listings that year and selling all of them, which was pretty good, right? All for sale owners. But like I was saying, for sale owners is all about, explaining and talking to them about what they're doing and how, not really tell them it's negative, but having them realize that it's negative with certain stats and things like that. So these are pretty aggressive scripts when you get to them. But this is another script. I'm just going to run through it, and then we can talk about one of these scripts and talk about any more questions that you have. So this is his script 3. Hey, it's Jeff with Cityside Property. I was calling, so I know about all the homes in the market, not just the ones in MLS. When you sell, do you mind if I ask where you're moving to? Great. So you're going to get them motivated. And how soon do you need to be there? Oh, and what price range are you asking for your property? Oh, great. And how'd you come up with that price? right? They're going to start saying, well, this is the tax records. I need to sell it for 280 because that's what the tax records say. And if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been trying to sell your property by yourself? Right? And are you willing to drop your price with when working with a buyer? Basically what that means is, are you willing to take 3% commission? So what type of marketing are you doing to sell your property? And are you aware of all the marketing tools that I use to get homes sold? Well, great. I would love to come by your house at 3 or 4 would be better, or weekdays or weekends work what's weekend or weekends or work days work best. That way I can share with you the ideas I have to sell your home. These are pretty easy scripts, right? These are for sale by owner, pretty easy scripts. I'll tell you mine and I'll get out of here. Let me make sure. So script 1, out of all of the scripts, either script 1, script 2, script 3, I think script 3 is pretty the most aggressive one, but which one would you guys be more comfortable using in any scenario with for sale by owners? And get over the fact that you're going to, a lot of them are going to hang up and tell you no right off the bat, but with every no, you get closer to your next yes. So maybe Amanda, what script kind of flowed better for you?
I like the first one. I want to try to bring value to them as much as possible up front. And so I like the idea of leveraging that iBuyer program, the express offers, and opening up that conversation. And what I found in my experience is, if you ask them, hey, if a realtor, I know you're not working with realtors, but if a realtor were to bring you a buyer, would you be willing to pay them 3%?
Right.
Probably 80% or more say yes. And then you can, if you know your NAR stats, like I think right now it's homes on MLS get about 12% more for the price,
Mm-hmm.
And some even go above.
Again, you don't have to be perfect on that. You can say, homes like yours get up to 12% more, right?
Right, and some even sell for more than asking price. And so if you're already willing to pay 3% to the buyer's agent, and I could potentially save you up to 12%, why wouldn't you pay another 3% to use the power of MLS and be on 750 different websites rather than just 2?
All right, so maybe script 1.
I like script 1.
And that's what I do. Mine is really short with for sale by owners because, one, there's thousands of them when I pull the numbers and when I call. Mine is pretty short. I say, hey, it's Jeff in real estate. Just calling about your property there on 123 Main Street. Oh, who's this, right? Oh, this is Jeff. I just want to make you. Are you still taking offers on that property, or did you get it sold? All the for sale by owners are like, yeah, I'll take an offer on the property. I'll say, well, that's great. So I was wondering if you would be open to paying another agent to bring you a buyer. Typically, the fee is about 3%. A lot of them, this for sale borrowers are going to say yes, right? So what you're going to do then once they tell you yes is you're going to say, okay, well, I've already scoured the MLS, quite a bit, and I just can't find that property for my buyer. You mind if I just come by and maybe get some more information on the property and see if that kind of matches my buyers, what they're looking for? A lot of them are going to say yes. And that is it. You've already set the appointment. Now, when you're in that appointment, that's when you're going to build the rapport with it. Okay, take some notes on it. Okay, great. You actually saw a house just like this. You said you're asking 150. I saw a house just like this sell for 175 the other day. It was crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think my buyers are going to love this property, blah, blah, blah. And then throw in the Rolex story or get them, get them talking, right? So where do you plan on moving after you sell this property? Kind of build some rapport with that seller because, like I said, you're not going to go to that FSBO and you're not going to lock that FSBO down right there that same day, that same time. It's all about the follow-up with FSBOs. Their motivation is going to have to change. And once it does, and you already know it does, because 70% of for sale owners actually end up listing with an agent and selling, you're going to be the go-to agent right there. So that's mine. It's super simple, super short script. And I get a lot of appointments with that. So when I was calling for Renee Sorolla, I had to call 20 buyers or sellers every single day. And those are talking to those talking to those buyers or sellers every day. So about 100, calls, 100, actually speaking to people, thousands of calls every week just to get 100. So about 500 a month as far as talking to people. So I got a lot of no's, but Renee told me a pretty neat stat I wanted to share with you guys is, let's say you called 100 people Oh, Jelly Bean wants to get out again. 1 second. Everybody heard that, I'm sure. 1 second.
Before Jeff had popped on, I was talking to Queen Brenda about how there was a post on Facebook and it said, what are realtors?
All right. Amanda is frozen. Look at that. Sorry, love. You're getting kicked.
And we lost you, Amanda.
See
She was
ya.
talking and then, yeah.
Who knows what she's talking about. But what I was saying is when you're making calls, right? And this could be buyers or sellers or whatever. Let's do some quick math, and hopefully this math is right. But let's say you make 100 calls, right? Some people don't answer. Some people may. But everybody start telling you no, 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 no. It's very easy to get, just in a bad mindset and like, okay, it's just not working. But have you ever thought it numbers-wise? Let's say you call 99 people and get 99 no's, right? And on that 100th call, someone finally tells you yes, and you sell them a $350,000 house, and you make $10,000 on that, right? 350, the math minus taxes, stuff like that. Let's say you do that. How much money were those 99 no's worth, right? I think it's what happened to you?
My computer died.
I think it's about $100, right? Is that right? Is that good math? Right? It's about $100 every time someone told you no. You basically get $100. So, and what I was telling him was what Renee was breaking it down for me in numbers. He's like, so don't get discouraged when someone tells you no. That's great. A no is a check because you spoke to somebody, you gave out your real estate services, and while you're getting no's, you're also perfecting your script. All kinds of objections are getting thrown at you every single day from buyers and sellers. But finally, someone tells you yes on that 100th call, and you make $10,000, meaning every single no is worth about $100, which is pretty exciting, right? So think of it like that as far as the numbers go. What were you saying before you kicked off?
I was saying that I guess Jeff likes to say up to 86% of transactions last year involved a realtor, and we have so many buyers. And on Facebook, they asked realtors, they said, "What's your number one problem right now? Like, what are you dealing with?" And everyone is saying inventory. We don't have enough listings on the market. We have all these buyers and locked into this amazing interest rate, and then we don't have a house for them.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, our buyers look for us to send them properties, and our buyers in Houston know to go on HER.com. And so we're never going to even think to go onto FSBO.com or ForSaleByOwner.com and send that potential listing